Hi there, Chapel Collective. Welcome to day 7 in the book of Isaiah. We're reading through chapter 8 today. Do just want to let you know that I've watched a couple of the videos back. I'm acutely aware that they're a little bit rough. You sometimes have me with no makeup whatsoever, no kind of facial preparation. I'm just letting you know that's probably going to continue. There might be the odd one in my jammers, in my active wear. It is just as you find me, so that's okay. I hope it's as it finds you as well. And we're just working through the book of Isaiah together. We're doing it under the premise of Dr. Jackie Gray's Them, Us and Me. We look at what it meant for them, what it means for us, and then hopefully a personal application as well in the light of Jesus Christ in our lives. So I hope you're getting something out of it. This is for people who want to go a little bit deeper, and also for those who maybe find reading just really tough, and that this might be an accessible way to begin to read through the Bible, given that you might be starting in what is a difficult book to start in. So Isaiah chapter 8. Then the Lord said to me, this is Isaiah talking, we're going to go through what it means to them, and then we'll come back and reflect, but we'll read through it. Make a large signboard and clearly write this name on it, Maher-shalal-hash-baz. I asked Uriah the priest and Zechariah son of Jeberechiah, both known as honest men, to witness my doing this. So he gets a large signboard and writes a name, Maher-shalal-hash-baz, which means swift to plunder and quick to carry away. So essentially, the name is a sentence. And it's significant. It's a sign, like it's a literal sign, but it's also a sign, and that's why he needs 2 witnesses to witness it. Verse 3. Then I slept with my wife, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. And the Lord said, call him Maher-shalal-hash-baz. For before this child is old enough to say mama or papa, the king of Assyria will carry away both the abundance of Damascus and the riches of Samaria. Then the Lord spoke to me again and said, my care for the people of Judah is like the gently flowing waters of Shiloh, but they have rejected it. They are rejoicing over what will happen to King Rezin and King Pekah. Therefore the Lord will overwhelm them with a mighty flood from the Euphrates River, the king of Assyria and all his glory. This flood will overflow all its channels and sweep into Judah until it is chin deep. It will spread its wings, submerging your land from one end to the other, O Emmanuel. Verse 9, huddle together, you nations, and be terrified. Listen, all you distant lands. Prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Yes, prepare for battle, but you will be crushed. Call your councils of war, but they will be worthless. Develop your strategies, but they will not succeed, for God is with us. Verse 11, the Lord has given me a strong warning, not to think like everyone else does. He says, don't call everything a conspiracy like they do. Don't live in dread of what frightens them. Make the Lord of Heaven's armies holy in your life. He is the one you should fear. He is the one who should make you tremble. He is the one, he will keep you safe. But to Israel and Judah, he will be a stone that makes people stumble, a rock that makes them fall. And for the people of Jerusalem, he will be a trap and a snare. Many will stumble and fall, never to rise again. They will be snared and captured. Preserve the teaching of God. Entrust his teaching and his instructions to those who follow me. I will wait for the Lord, who was turned away from the descendants of Jacob. I will put my hope in him. I and the children the Lord has given me serve as signs and warnings to Israel from the Lord of Heaven's armies, who dwells in his temple on Mount Zion. Someone may say to you, let's ask the mediums and those who consult the spirits of the dead. With their whisperings and mutterings, they will tell us what to do. But shouldn't people ask God for guidance? Should the living seek guidance from the dead? Look to God's instructions and teachings. People who contradict his word are completely in the dark. They will go from one place to another, weary and hungry. And because they're hungry, they will rage and curse their king and their God. They will look up to heaven and down to earth, but wherever they look, there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair. They will be thrown out into the darkness. And now I'm just going to read the next verse, because in the Hebrew Bible, the next verse is part of this chapter. Nevertheless, that time of darkness and despair will not go on forever. The land of Zebulun and Naphtali will be humbled, but there will be a time in the future when Galilee of the Gentiles, which lies along the road that runs between the Jordan and the sea, will be filled with glory. Okay, let's think about what this meant for them at the time. This two sons that Isaiah has, Shear-Jashub and Maher-shalal-hash-baz, a remnant will return, and swift to the plunder, quick to the spoil. These two names meant as witnesses, these two kids meant as witnesses to the people of Judah that God was still in control, that in fact that a remnant would be maintained, so that they're not going to be wiped from the face of the earth, but also that before this kid, Maher-shalal-hash-baz, my favourite gag is that before he's old enough to say mama or papa, which is, one, rather than Maher-shalal-hash-baz, which he'd have to be at least 17 before he could say that, that actually that the spoils of the nations that are marching against them, Syria and Damascus, so the Samaria, Israel and Syria, that they're going to be taken apart, and that happens not long after. He's saying that they're rejecting the gentle provision of God, and so instead of these gentle flowing waters, the non-provision, the army of Assyria will come against them. And he also says that don't get caught up in everything that the world's calling a conspiracy. This is what he's saying to the people of Israel, that the Lord is actually meant to be your sanctuary. And rather than consulting different methods and means for guidance, go to God. These are the things that are also said to us, that actually where are the signs that God has given you? Where are the promises that God has given you? It might not be that a remnant will return or that's quick to the plunder and swift to spoil, but actually that he's given you promises of provision. And are you remembering those? Are you calling those to front of mind in your life? Are you aware of God's gentle provision in your life, or are you trying to seek for outside sources? This is an interesting one. It has a manual twice, one at the point of judgment and one at the point of restoration, one at the point of vindication. And so God is here with us. And how is he here for you right now? Because sometimes he'll be here for you in that place of judgment because he loves you and he doesn't want you to be swept away. He will show up in judgment for you in order for you to stop doing whatever it is that you're doing. But he's nevertheless still with you. That is still him being with you, God with us, Emmanuel. And then other times it's that time of restoration, that beautiful, whatever that looks like, that beautiful redemption. And yes, he's there with you as much in that moment. Where's your news feed feeding you? Where do you get fearful and frightened and start to, listen to conspiracies, and, when you wake up first thing in the morning, grab your phone to quickly check the update on whatever that feed is, instead of turning to the one true God who has your times in the palm of his hands. Don't call everything a conspiracy. Don't get caught up. Don't get swept away by the news of the day. It was a lot easier to talk about conspiracy theories 5 years ago, let me tell you. And then where do you look apart from to God? And this is also a reminder just to us in this modern day. Astrology, Ouija boards, what are those people called? Mediums, but the people that you go to, obviously I haven't been to one, but where you go into and they tell you the things about the future. Don't go to them, don't mess with that stuff is what I think we need to remember. It's not okay. Let's just turn to God and look to him. It's really bugging me that I can't think of that name. Anyway, I'm sure that you can think of it. Clairvoyant, that's the name. Let's not deal with any of that stuff or mess with any of those people. And let's just turn to the Lord our God. Now, tomorrow is going to be exciting.